Well, I'm delighted to say joining me in the studio is etiquette expert and someone who specialises in etiquette and social intelligence, Diana Mathers. Diana, we do live in a world where, I mean, potentially the rate of societal change is it's far outpacing societal change, let's say, over the past 200 years. Are our manners keeping up? Are they standing the test of time?
Well, people get very mixed up between manners and etiquette. Etiquette, as you say, started as a ticket to get into Versailles, so that the haute poiloi would know exactly how to behave as the court. But good manners are treating others with kindness, consideration and respect. And actually, they are ageless, classless and priceless, because if we treated everyone with respect, then the world would be a happier place. But etiquette then became a sort of social rules. It's a code of rules by which a society lives. And as you say, it changes over time, it changes from culture to culture. It is changing at a huge pace with, as you say, the sort of mix of people now living, but mainly, I think, social media. People living together who wouldn't have necessarily chatted in the past are now chatting with people all over the world who they don't even know. And so it is becoming a bit of a minefield.
But how important are manners to social cohesion? I mean, certainly I've lived abroad in lots of different countries, and it's only when you are somewhere for an extended period of time you realise quite how obsessed by manners we are in the UK. But given that, you know, a lot of rows happen when someone queue jumps or takes something off the supermarket shelf that you were going for, I mean, if we lose our sense of manners, are we at risk of becoming a very disunited society?
I think we are. As I say, manners goes back to treating other people with respect and kindness and consideration. So if you are going for that, whatever it is, the last thing on the shelf at the moment, if there often is, and somebody else is going up for it, you let them have it, because that is good manners. And what goes round comes round, you know? So if you treat people well, you'll find that they generally treat you well. And I do think manners are really important. To say please and thank you costs nothing, but it does make a big difference to the person you're saying it to.
Do you think the British, we've always had a reputation for the stiff upper lip and having a sort of very strictured code of comportment. Do you think that that's a good thing, and are we losing that?
We're definitely
being diluted?
Absolutely losing it, yes. It is not the same. And in a lot of cases, it is a good thing. Because, you know, to be absolutely, show no emotion and keep that stiff upper lip is not good. But I think that we do need discipline, you know. We need guidelines, like children. They need to know the guidelines, otherwise we become insecure. We need to have some rules for which it is accepted behaviour. And I think they are changing. But if we think about other people, not just ourselves, that is a start. But the actual etiquette of, you know, whether you open the door for somebody, whether you stand up when they come into the room, whether a gentleman walks on the outside of the pavement, most of that, unfortunately, is going. But as a woman, I very much like that. I like to be treated with respect and kindness. If a chap is bigger than me and he's likely to get knocked over by a lorry on the outside of the pavement, I'd rather it was him. But a lot of those things which were considered absolutely de rigueur, even 30 years ago, are now fading.
Well, who are now the authors of manners in this country? Because traditionally, of course, we have a royal family who used to set the standard, and a lot of our manners today have evolved from the mores of the Victorian era, where Victoria and Albert were incredibly strict about how they expected society to behave. But that's becoming less and less relevant now, and as we have, you know, new forms of etiquette we have to navigate with, whether to reply to a text message as soon as you receive it, who speaks when in Zoom meetings, all sorts of, you know, a crazy new world we live in. Who is now in charge of making the manners?
That's a very interesting question, and I don't really know the answer. I think social media has a huge influence now, and somehow I think it's collective in a way, that people are not liking some behaviours, therefore they're saying they shouldn't happen, and do like others. Again, it comes back to normal manners, things like Zoom calls. You mustn't hog the airtime. You know, you've got to give everybody time to talk, as you would in a meeting. Replying to an email, you should do that within 24 hours. And I think what is really important, which is not considered so important these days, is capitalisation and punctuation. If I just write anything and I have to, then my recipient is supposed to decipher it, that is really bad manners, because I'm taking no trouble and time to write the thing properly. I'm expecting somebody else to just understand it. And that is not good for business, and it's not good for personal relationships either. To respect somebody, you've got to think about them receiving it. OK, is my text legible? If it isn't, I rewrite it, you know, and not just quickly as I'm running down the street or whatever. Actually, that's why I quite like voice message, because it's you don't have to worry about the spelling.
Do you think that, you know, now we live in this fast-paced world where everything is instantly accessible, we're becoming rather glib when it comes to respect? I mean, one thing I've noticed is something that seems to have happened with the advent of mobile phones is people don't stick to arrangements anymore. They cancel 10 minutes before they're turning up.
Yes.
I mean, how do we claw back, you know, that's sort of what I like to consider old-fashioned values, but how do we claw back the basics of respect when we don't know who it is who's supposed to be teaching us these rules?
I think really it's common sense. Again, it's thinking about the effect you're having on others. So a lot of people, as you say, the mobile phone, oh, sorry, I'm running late. You couldn't have done that before the phone, because you should have set off, you know. And to make somebody aware that you are upset if they cancel 10 minutes before. I was really looking forward to seeing you, and you just haven't turned up. And I'm really upset about it, because often we just don't bother to reply. We say, oh, it's fine. No, it isn't fine. You put aside your time to go and meet somebody, look forward to somebody coming to see you, and they just think, oh, I've got a better offer, or oh, too tired, can't be bothered. It's not good enough. And I think we've got to sort of make our feelings known more. And then that generally, hopefully, it's like a, you know, pebble in a pond. The ripples widen.
Welcome to the GB News YouTube channel. You can watch us live 24 hours a day, catch up on your favourite shows, and join in the conversation in the comments below.
Don't forget to subscribe and you'll never miss any of our exclusive content.